So that is a quick look at where we're going today. I do want us to be fairly interactive, and I'm delighted that we're set up here in roundtable group settings, and we'll have some discussion and some interaction as we go along, because I know you don't want me to just stand up here and talk at you for the next number of hours. Someone once said that a lecture is where the notes of the lecturer become the notes of the audience without passing through the minds of either. So I very much want to avoid that and give us a chance to chat, digest, participate, and we'll have more of a dialogue around these areas of leadership. Because for me, one of the key differences between management and leadership, and I'll elaborate on this in that section later, is that management is about a way of doing things, processes, techniques, best practices, and it's why business schools and various other groups that teach management and administration can kind of quantify or identify best practices. Whereas leadership is much more a way of being. And how do you come up with best practices for a way of being? We're all individuals. We're all unique. We all have our own mindset, our own way of looking at the world, our own personalities, our own approaches to life. And so that's what makes it much more difficult to come up with a formula for leadership, or to come up with, here's how you ought to lead. And so we need to be exploring, and I know that's what your leadership forum is all about, and I understand you're working on some competencies for how they apply here at the Society. And so it's all part of you trying to really define for yourselves, first as a group, and then ultimately individually, what does leadership mean to us? And what are its core elements? And what does it mean to me personally? So I hope to facilitate some of that dialogue, some of that discussion, and help each of you, I hope, at the end of the morning, to have moved a little bit further along in your own leadership journey and explored for yourself a little bit deeper what it means and which areas of leadership you may want to be focusing on to continue your journey. You'll see me referring from time to time to my little map of slides. That's because what I do for a session like this is the material that we're going to cover in its full depth and entirety is really 2 days. And I do some 2-day workshops, although I do quite a lot of half-day and one-day kinds of sessions, half-day sessions like this as well. But what I do have are all my slides and materials for the full 2 days. Not that I'm going to try to do death by PowerPoint to you and put you through it all, but what I'm going to be doing is flipping back and forth, and as our discussion unfolds, that will help me in determining where we want to go. And part of what really helps me even more, and I hope helps you as well, is if we take a moment right now and think about what would you like to get. Given the agenda I've just shown you, what would you like to get out of today's workshop? So what I'm going to ask you to do, this is the first little participative piece, is within your table, is just to chat for a few minutes with each other about what would be the main objective that you're hoping to get out of today. So when we finish at, 1 o'clock that we're scheduled to finish, and then there's lunch, I believe, right after that. So when we're finished by 1 o'clock, and what is it that you will hope to take away from these 3 hours and a bit that we're going to be together? So just take a minute and chat about that. What are your objectives? Okay, let me get back together here with everyone. And what I'm going to try to do is just capture what are some of the key themes that emerged. As I said, I hope that this helps you get focused as you think about what you want out of the day, so that, because it is going to be a little bit of a drink from a fire hose, and hopefully then you'll be able to, when you're clear about what you're looking for, you'll be able to drink fairly deeply and not just sip a little bit, or perhaps some of you are just going to gargle and spit. I don't know. That is your own choice. Well, what are some of the objectives? We've got a pretty complete list here. And so in the next 2 days, we're going to get all of this solved. Well, of course, that is the challenge, that this is a fairly extensive list. Certainly, a number of the things that you have raised, we are going to be touching on, covering in one way or another. Part of what, as I mentioned when I went through the agenda, part of what we're going to do that'll help weight this list a little bit more is later on, once I've done a quick overview of the principles, I'm going to ask for a show of hands, kind of quick voting as to which of the 7 principles you want to spend a bit more time on. And then that will help me weight some of this just a little bit further. So, good. That helps me get a good sense of things, and I'm going to, from time to time throughout the morning, kind of recheck and make sure that we seem to be on track with some of where you're going.